Come, let us explore how meditation increases happiness in 2025 when fascism is on the rise and democracy is on the wane. We will use as a teaching text an excerpt from vast expanse of the diamond-like mind, known in Tibet as Dorje Sempa Namka Che, composed by Prahe Vajra approximately 14 centuries ago, translated from the Tibetan by Chokyo Namkai Norbu, translated from the Italian by Adriano Clemente, adapted and amplified by yours truly. So here's my intention. I would like it very much if together as a team we could relaxingly recite this 15th passage 4 times. And in between each recitation or each repetition, I'll give you an explanation, and hopefully it'll all make sense. Together, attachment and non-attachment are just the path of words, and the same is something in the middle, like an echo. Happiness and suffering have the same cause, according to the boss-like dynamism of beings, Vajra diamond-like strength of a well-trained sattva mind. So I'm going to do 1 or 2 quick edits. And that should do it. Okay. As is the norm with this text, there are several answers. We'll begin with the most superficial. Happiness and suffering have the same cause. Okay, I'm not sure this will fit, but I'll try. Let's see if I can make it fit. Let's go over here, hit copy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's hit paste. One more vowel, that's all I need. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's hit copy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's hit paste. Okay, that's close enough for government work. Let's continue with the actual lesson now. Yang's religious patriarchy, I should say, for those who are enthusiastic about Yang's religious patriarchy, being rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel, are an enthusiastic way of life. This path will take whatever sufferings we have and multiply them. Now let's look at this from the perspective of neuroscience. When we indulge our controlling tendencies, we tend to focus in reliance upon our medial prefrontal cortex, and we tend to analyze in reliance upon our dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Doing this excessively, characteristically, habitually, will exhaust the front part of our brain, thus triggering our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression, which I'm sure you would agree is the opposite of peace and love. But the opposite can be true. When we notice in harmony with our sympathetic nervous system, ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord, when we relax in harmony with our parasympathetic nervous system, divided between the lower third and the upper third of that same spinal cord, then we calm, then the anxiety and aggression of our amygdala is calmed. The empathy of our anterior cingulate gyrus, this teeny band right here, is increased. And our ability to flow from love's centered spontaneity is multiplied. So that is the superficial explanation of happiness and suffering have the same cause. According to the, so let's start from the top. Attachment and non-attachment are just the path of words, and the same is something in the middle, like an echo. Happiness and suffering have the same cause. According to the boss-like dynamism of beings, Vajra, diamond-like strength of a well-trained sattva mind. So Vajra, sattva, is an archetype of the diamond-like strength of a well-trained mind. Every time we inhale, we are wired to practice mindfulness in cooperation with our sympathetic nervous system. We are wired to notice in a very special way. We are wired to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, which is the opposite of the rigidity and controlling tendencies of concentration. What do we do with that which we notice? Every time we exhale, we are wired to meditate, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system, which supports both physical relaxation as well as mental release. Doing so causes that which we noticed during our previous inhalation to fleetingly feel less tantalizing, less permanent, less defining, and less graspable. Or in other words, relaxing in harmony with our exhalation helps that which we noticed during our previous inhalation to fleetingly feel as non-tantalizing and as non-permanent and as non-defining as an echo. It can make it feel as fleetingly non-graspable as an echo, which is dramatically more quiet with each passing moment. Hence the phrase, like an echo. So we did the superficial explanation, we did the middling explanation, and let's prepare for the deeper explanation after our third repetition. Attachment and non-attachment are just the path of words, and the same as something in the middle, like an echo. Happiness and suffering have the same cause. According to the boss-like dynamism of beings, Vajra, diamond-like strength of a well-trained sattva mind. So the subtle answer is as follows. As we breathe in, we can notice the duality of attachment and non-attachment. As we relax into our exhalation, both attachment and non-attachment could feel as non-graspable as an echo. Therefore, as we relax into our exhalation, whatever attachment or non-attachment we noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as if they were melting into the simplicity of just emotion. So there is nothing here to believe. It's a question of just cooperating with the natural processes of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems that facilitate the mindfulness and meditation that are coordinated or correlated with both our inhalation and our exhalation. And now we come to our fourth and final repetition. Attachment and non-attachment are just the path of words, and the same is something in the middle, like an echo. Happiness and suffering have the same cause, according to the boss-like dynamism of beings, Vajra diamond-like strength of a well-trained sattva mind. We began this explanation by looking at how relying upon the structures necessary for focus and analysis trigger our amygdala, multiply our anxiety and aggression, and do more harm than good. We also explored how by relying upon our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems, we calm our anxiety and increase our empathy, as well as its centered spontaneity that can profoundly influence our choices and utterances and deeds. In light of this, a very rational question is, what's the most efficient way for us to cooperate with, the sympathetic as well as the parasympathetic nervous systems? The answer is remarkably easy. We could silently, every time, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this each time we feel air enter our nostrils. And we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease each time we feel air leave our nostrils. Having completed our opening lesson, we can now shift gears. It is Ahsoka Tano Thursday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is the Dzogchen Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I have harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyperfocus to spend about 8 hours every day, almost every day. I should say 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I can become your personal, nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. For the remainder of this morning's practice, let us rely upon the latest iteration of very easy meditation practice text, or sadhana, if you're nasty. Let us set intention by chanting the essence of the path. Whatever comes, may all beings notice, relax and flow. Whatever stays, may all beings notice, relax and flow. Whatever goes, may all beings notice, relax and flow. Let us begin with the first collection of our left hand's 8 sets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and our right hand's 12 inhalations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But how do we keep track of the first collection? Simple. Upon the tip of our left little finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger, palms up in our lap. Yang's religious patriarchy can be very elitist, and thus they often promote the myth that one must master the full lotus position in order to meditate. But that is not what the Buddha taught. The most ancient Buddhist statuary archaeologists have found depict the Buddha not sitting in the full lotus posture, but simply the quarter lotus posture, where one leg rests comfortably upon the other. We do not do this by creatively articulating the knee, for the knee is just a hinge joint, and its limitations must be respected. We assume this posture by creatively articulating the hip joint, for it is a ball and socket arrangement. And we never want to force our legs. Instead, we assume whatever asymmetric, ugly version of it that we're capable of, and just reconcile ourselves to patiently wait on time and gravity to do their work. Sit like this as best you can for at least 5 minutes every 12 hours or so. And within a week or two, the joints of your hips will seem to remember the flexibility of youth. Simply put, during each time we feel air enter our nostrils, let us silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this, reminding us that we're already wired to automatically notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. Every time we feel air leave our nostrils, we could silently and mentally recite the verb ease, reminding us that we're already wired to physically relax as well as mentally release. Together as a team, let us practice right now. And of course, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist philosophy or meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. I check for questions approximately every 15 minutes or so. We come now to the second collection of our left hand's 8 sets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And our right hand's 12 inhalations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But how do we keep track of the second collection? Easy. Upon the tip of our left ring finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger, palms up in our lap. Let us review the mechanics of mindfulness. Every time we breathe in, thanks to our sympathetic nervous system, we have evolved to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, fleetingly notice mind's antics of perception. You know, sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like, including the full spectrum of human emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, and imaginings. What do we do with that which we notice? Every time we exhale, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system, we are already wired for physical relaxation as well as mental release. Therefore, during each time we feel air enter our nostrils, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this, and each time we feel air exit our nostrils, we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb is. Allow me to remind you that the Buddhist statue at Kamakura, Japan, does an excellent job of illustrating that each time we inhale, we generate a vertical traction between our tush and the back of our head. Doing so gently, subtly tilts our head down as if it was gazing at a point 1 meter or 2 meters before us. This helps to open up our scapula or shoulder blades. We've come to the third collection of our left hand's 8 sets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And our right hand's 12 inhalations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But how will we keep track of this third collection? Easy. Upon the tip of our left middle finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger, palms up, in our lap. So when we rely upon the very, very front of our brain to actively focus and actively analyze and indulge our controlling tendencies to select our experience, we wind up triggering our amygdala, which is the seat of anxiety and aggression. Therefore, it's very important that we notice in a very special way, in harmony with our sympathetic nervous system, that we notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly all manner of phenomena, whatever comes up, be it external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. Every time we rely upon our parasympathetic nervous system during our exhalation, we are wired for both physical relaxation as well as mental release. In light of the importance of both our sympathetic as well as parasympathetic nervous systems, what is the easiest way for us to cooperate with them? Simple. We could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this each time we feel air enter our nostrils, and we could silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease each time we feel air leave our nostrils. Now, the moment you have a specific question about Buddhist philosophy or meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. In the interim, together as a team, let's practice. We come now to our fourth and final collection of our left hand's 8 sets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and our right hand's 12 inhalations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How do we keep track of this fourth collection? Easy. Upon the tip of our left index finger, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger, palms up in our lap. Each time we relax into our exhalation, whatever dualities, such as scorn or praise, we might have noticed during our previous inhalation, could feel as if they were melting into the simplicity of just the interpersonal. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 10 and a quarter hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's evening meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.